Weather Authority Chief Meteorologist Dann joining us now with how things are looking for us.
Well, Veronica, we've got some things to talk about because the weather has been pretty consistent lately in that it's been fairly hot and dry. Now, it's going to stay dry, but it's not going to be as hot. So things are changing over the next week or so. And if you live near the coast, you've already noticed that over the last couple of days as we have cooled down significantly. But we still saw highs in the 90s today in some of our inland valleys. So you folks haven't seen much change at all. So let's talk about what's going on out there. Here's a big picture. We're in a blocking pattern still, too. Anytime you got a big high over a low out over the Pacific, typically, well, we get this pattern where not much is moving. However, there's a deep trough here across the northern interior of the United States. And watch what happens. This trough here is going to meet up with this guy, and they're going to become friends, drawing together as we head toward the end of the week. And notice over our area, the colors seem to lighten. That is cooler air aloft for us. And with cooler air aloft, our inland areas especially will see much cooler temperatures. So by the time we get to the weekend, you're going to be noticing that even on the inland side of things, our highs are much cooler than we have been in quite some time, probably since the springtime. Now, another thing to notice is that there's still a pretty strong ridge of high pressure out over the water here. And what happens is we're kind of stuck in between these two. And notice how close all these lines are together. That's a pretty strong gradient right there. And typically gradients like that give us some gusty winds. Now, all of us probably not going to see those gusty winds, but a few of us will. And as this thing happens later on in the weekend, these winds will be offshore winds. Watch what happens here as this air pours into the Sacramento Valley. So this is late Sunday night. Here are some stronger wind gusts coming down the valley toward the San Francisco Bay Area. It's kind of funneled right through there, but we're going to catch the edge of that in the Santa Cruz Mountains. So that's our next offshore wind event. We've got a little one happening tonight, enough so that our fire danger is critical. But it's going to happen again Sunday night into Monday morning, and it probably will be stronger, especially up north. So we're already watching the next event. In the meantime, we'll just watch those temperatures start to fall. We're in the 60s right now around the bay for the most part, 70 in Santa Cruz. Inland areas still in the 80s in some cases, so a warm evening out there inland, cooler on the coast. May see a little bit of fog return, but it'll be patchy in nature around the bay tonight, not quite as dense and as strong as we saw last night. So tomorrow morning, patchy fog still possible. Heading into the afternoon hours, mostly sunny skies except down along the Big Sur coast where a few of those low clouds will hang on. And then tomorrow night, a few low clouds return back to the bay. Pretty similar to today, cloud-wise. Temperature-wise, we'll be cooling about 5 degrees for many locations. 84 in Boulder Creek tomorrow. Scotts Valley and Felton in the upper 70s. Right around 70 downtown Santa Cruz, and we'll be in the 60s in Capitola and Aptos tomorrow. East shore of the bay, all in the 60s, low 70s. Watsonville to Salinas, 86 in Gilroy and 82 in Hollister. Over to Monterey tomorrow. You'll be in the mid-60s, same as Seaside and Carmel, but Pebble Beach only in the low 60s, Burr. And then farther south, how about the Salinas Valley, 70s to 80s. Much easier to work outside when it's in the 70s and 80s than those 90s we saw last week. So there you go. All right, let's take a look at that next 7 days now. Temperature-wise on the coast, we will see further cooling over the next couple of days because even though we have offshore flow aloft, at the surface we'll probably continue to see an onshore breeze, which will bring that cool air right off the water. Highs in the low 60s on Saturday and Sunday. It'll be a cooler, perhaps breezier weekend at times, but it'll feel like fall out there. You know, dress. You've been waiting to get those fall clothes out of the closet. Break them out this weekend. Enjoy. Grab a pumpkin or something. We'll warm back up, it looks like midweek next week. Inland areas also a big crash in temperatures into Saturday and Sunday with highs below normal for this time of year. But again, we're going to watch for that next round of offshore winds as we head into early next week.